All right, I'm back on it. It is now, what, 7:45 p.m. I have not felt like doing anything all day long. I am nocturnal, so I like to just chill during the days, and then I usually get my creative bursts at night. But I don't know, I just felt a little bit unmotivated, a lot of lazy, so I just sort of puttered about the house and laid in bed and took a nap or two, and now I am ready to get to it. So let's get to it. Because tomorrow I really need to do a deep cleaning around here. I've got a lot of boxes in my bedroom that I'm saving up for the Facebook Live sale. Expecting to be shipping out a lot of pieces that you guys are going to acquire. So I want to make sure that I have my boxes ready, and I'm slowly gathering up all of my packing materials and stuff like that. And of course, I have so many boxes that the room is now really a hot mess. So I've got to get a handle on that and just re-straighten up the living room and make more use of the patio area. I've got to sweep the floor out there, and I have a lot of old pieces that I'm not going to repurpose that just need to go ahead and go in the dumpster, and I'm going to transfer some of the sculptures that are live sculptures that I'm working on out to the patio so I can get the living room restored. The living room's not junky, it's just got a lot going on, but it looks like a lot going on of an art gallery practically because there's so many pieces, and that doesn't need to be. So I'm going to rectify that. I'm going to clean up the studio area, sweep the rug, get everything restored again, back to its former glory. And then with whatever I have left of energy and day after I do that will be spent, sculpting. So right now I'm trying something that I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I'm going to try it regardless and see what happens. So I'm trying to fuse these two pieces together. I'm holding the back very firmly while I press down on this part that I'm adding very firmly. A lot of repositioning to do to get this right. All right, so I think I need to go in with the tool to start figuring this out. Oh, some dried clay on it that I just transferred. That's fine. And I'm holding the back with my thumb because I'm pressing down. I'm applying a good amount of pressure to get these pieces joined, especially on the outside seam. Hopefully the middle is joined enough that it won't be a problem later. We're going to see. And I'm doing the rocking or the wriggling technique. I refer to it a lot of different ways. I usually refer to it as wriggling, but it's actually, it's both. It's rocking, it's wriggling, it's whatever feels best for your description, just to make sure that you're pressing the clay down solidly into place. Right here on this area, I can go ahead and move with my thumb. So this part right here is going to be a cutaway. So I'm going to start going in with that now. I needed to place it in order to see how much actually needs to be cut away. So that's why that happened that way. Again, I don't plan very well, so I create extra work for myself. And again, it's fine with me. It might annoy people who are watching, but it's not a big deal for me. I just have to learn by doing at this point. And it's just not the way my brain processes information with regards to planning and having foresight. So this is probably going to be what I'm always doing. The thing about me is normally that once I pick up on something, I start to establish speed. So a lot of people don't realize that I'm doing something the difficult way because all they're seeing is sculptures being created and being created quickly. But imagine if I was more logical than I am and could see ahead of time things that just weren't going to work. Oh my God, prolific wouldn't be the word for what I'd be, for what I'd become in that instance. But that's not what the deal is right now, so we work with what we have. I'm cutting it wide because I'm not sure how much I'm going to end up having to take out, and I want to leave myself a margin for error. And with me, that needs to usually be a pretty wide margin, so. I want this head to stay workable, so I just sprayed it with water, and I am lathering slip along it, just so that slip will hold that moisture in place and keep it wet longer than it would if I just sprayed it with water. The water will evaporate and go into the clay at the same time. The slip will keep it, sufficiently wet for a while. So that's why I did that. And this took a lot to get to this point with regards to planning how I was going to get the arms in there. I wanted to do coil rolls, but I did not want to do an armature. So that fell apart. So I ended up doing sort of a slab and just deciding to cut out to create the shape that I want. And that worked much better because now I didn't have to create an armature. All right, let me leave you with this for this section. I think that once you tap into how important guided strokes are, really intentional, purposefully applied pressure, and really intentionally retracted. I don't know what word I want to use. Maybe I should just describe what's happening. So I don't want this arm, this part of the arm, to come out further. So when I'm scraping away, I have to apply a lot of pressure to take away on that outside part. But I don't, for instance, want to apply so much pressure that I come in completely this way. So I need to press hard here, and as I'm coming down, lift away and lighten so that I can follow this curve while taking away from this area. And once you start to lock into how to maneuver that and how to not apply too much pressure in areas or when to lift up, it's going to create a tremendous difference in how quickly you get to the shapes and planes that you want. So this is where I'm stopping for right now. Far from finished. As you guys know, I've been sleeping all day, so me taking a break has absolutely nothing to do with being tired. It has everything to do with my attention span. this is as far as I can go before I'm just like, okay, I just want to go see the patio like it's changed, or I just want to get some water even though I'm not thirsty. It's just the diversion that seems to entice me. So I end up stepping away for that reason, but not because of tiredness, just because this is as much as my attention span allows. And it sort of invigorates me. It allows me to come back and be excited again about making more progress, more so than it would be if I were to continue for hours and hours of sculpting. I just don't have that in me. That's just not how I operate. So we are clocking out at 53 minutes and 12 seconds. Let's just say I've been talking for at least a minute and a half. So we'll just call it 50 minutes on this one. And you can always watch the full video on YouTube. As you know, I'm preparing a lot of these smaller to mid-size sculptures to enable attractive pricing in some instances, so that people who are supporters of my work and, cannot or don't want to have to spend, thousands or thousands of dollars on a sculpture, a large sculpture, the type that, you would normally see in a gallery, in a museum. This will enable you to have some of my work that can be cherished and loved always as home decor, office decor, as gifts. So there's focus on that. While I'm going to be returning to my larger sculptures really soon, I can always work on those simultaneously, but I just choose not to right now. I think I'll return to the larger sculptures after the Facebook Live sale. That's going to happen in October. And if you want to be invited and get a piece that you've been looking for, and it's very much a how quick on the draw are you? Because I'm going to pick up the pieces, Did anybody else see Hustle Man playing the kazoo? Anyone? Is it just me? As soon as I said pick up the pieces, it was like, but anyway. So it'll be that I'm going to hold the sculptures or the pendants or the goddess vessels in front of the camera, speak a little bit about them, and they're each going to be assigned a number right there on the spot. And taking my cue from the wonderful sculptor Karen Clark, who I actually called and got permission to do this because I had only seen this done on her channel with her amazing sculptures. Oh my God. If you have not seen her vessels and her sculptures, please check her out. It is Karen, Carren Clark. But anyway, Karen had a Facebook Live sale. I purchased a bowl set from her, and I fell totally in love with how she did it. And I didn't want her to think I was a biter. So, I hollered at her and was just like, hey, would you feel a way if I patterned my Facebook Live sale after exactly the way you did yours? And I told her, no is a complete answer. You don't have to explain anything. If you feel any little twinge about this ask, I'm cool with you saying no, and I promise you, I'm going to find a different way. And she was like, absolutely not. Are you selling my pieces? Okay, girl, well, stop tripping and do your thing. And, that's one of the beautiful things about her. So anyway, like I said, I'll be speaking about the pieces. I'll assign them a number, and basically whoever types that number in first for out of the audience that's going to be on the Facebook Live, that's who gets the piece. Right after the Facebook Live ends, you're going to be sent an invoice. You'll need to take care of that within 24 hours, and then your piece will be prepared to be packaged and shipped to you. Now, if you want to be a part of that, and there's some things that you've had your eye on, and there are going to be more things within that time that will have been created, then make sure to send me your email address. I will put you on the list, and you'll get a reminder somewhere around, September. I don't know if it's going to be mid-September, end of September. I don't know yet if the Facebook sale itself is going to be mid-October or the end of October, but it'll be in October from what I can tell. And that's going to be a great time to really start thinking about, who you want to purchase gifts for the holidays, things you want to gift yourself for the holidays. So send me that email address. We'll make it happen. I'm going to take my break, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace. Well, this is an interesting start to my video. So took my break. That's where I left off. And look, this is what I came back to. The head had fallen off. So I'm going to have to try to rejoin it. This is where it fell off from. And this is where I'll have to rejoin. So going in here, scoring. Gonna put a ton of slip in. Push the head forward a little bit and hope that this time it stays. These things happen. What are you gonna do? Nothing. All you can do is move on and hope that you can fix it. I'm going to take a piece of soft clay from off here to the side, create a small coil to wrap around the neck. I think I need to go ahead and scrape away this excess so I can see what I'm doing. I'm leaving that clay right there because I'll pull that up into it as well. I'm flattening out and mixing some already soft clay that's on the table. You can't see it because it's just out of the camera range. Just to build up an area right here. So there's a little water pooled on the table, so I was just taking this spatula and mashing the water into it so that it could be very pliable and go into this area that I see I need to build up. And once again, I'm prepping some clay. It's already moist, adding some more moisture to it to build up an area. I think I'll build up in increments. Just add bit by bit. I'm using my finger to tap the clay into place, using the fingers of my left hand, and well, actually my entire left hand, just to act as a brace so that I don't tap the structure downward. So that's what my hand is blocking this from doing, but the pressure is being applied just by the one finger to tap the soft clay into joining. And you know, of course, there's a lot of slip on there too. Now I'm just compressing it even more by rocking the what I call like the spatula tool and pulling it downward to join. Still keeping my hand solidly there as a brace. Now with this, I don't have to really brace it because I'm fine with it moving to the right and upward. I'm not fine with it moving to the left. So this that I'm doing, I'm making a mark right there because I want to give myself more indication of where that arm goes in, and I don't have that currently. So now I know, scrape in deeply, and I'm pulling out right at that mark. Scraping in a little deeply, pulling out. Her shoulders are on a slant, so I need for this arm not to appear so much longer and end up making this arm like it look like it's too much shorter. So I'm sort of just gauging that area there to give the impression of more length for that arm, for like where that shoulder socket in the front ends. If I'm making sense to you right now. Hope I am. You see how I'm maneuvering the tool? I get to that stopping point and then I angle it downward because that's sort of the anatomy of that arm. So now you know that this is where the arm starts, this is where it ends. Is it long enough? Nope. But a lot of that has to do with where you are seeing curvature right now. So that will get straightened out as I spin this around and look and alter the shape of how this arm goes. And I still think I need to add more up here. So I'll take some of these crumbles away that have fallen off, put them on that little stack that I'm building. And now, because I don't want, remember, I don't want this arm coming down. I don't want to cause a breaking point here. So I'm taking and bracing my hand up against that so that I can go in deeply with the serrating tool and add more clay. Now I'll add a little more slip to the top and I'll apply some more soft clay. This clay has a lot of water content to it, so I'm just scraping it off into my palm. My palm is powdery with clay, and I'm just rolling it around, making sure that this is the tiny version of wedging, just to make sure that the particles are all joined, or the fibers of the clay. And I want to flatten this out because I want to add it right to the top. So I'm just pressing in an indentation with my thumb, with my finger, and now I'm serrating very deeply. And I'm actually going to add some more slip to this because I need it to be very solidly joined. So now it's important that I put my elbow on the table, braced my hand right here, because I'm going to be pushing down, and I don't want to push that arm down, but I want it joined. So you just make sure that this cannot go that way, and you do that by bracing it. Keeping my hand solidly here, and using this tool to push down, joining, making that connection stronger, and lightly pulling down that clay and that slip. I want all of that to stay right there because it's all going to dry as one. So I'm not really all that interested in scraping off excess clay. I just want all of the excess clay and the slip to join to this area. So you can see where I'm taking and scraping it off and putting it right back into place. I'm not worried about sculpting right now. I just want all of the slip and clay very solidly joined. And I'm taking and rocking this back and forth because again, I want to compress this clay, these two joined pieces into each other, and make sure they don't go anywhere, and that when this clay starts to shrink, there's so much slip and so much foundation, strong foundation established, that it's not going to break. So here, I've got my elbow resting on the table, I've got the heel of my hand firmly placed against the arm, and now I'm going in and doing the same thing, joining. Trying to keep my fingers from moving against the pressure that I'm applying, so that everything is compacting onto itself. Excess clay getting scraped off right into those same areas. Coming in here from the sides, and now we're talking about, this is the back part, which again, I'm not concerned about placing pressure here and forcing it this way. That's fine with me. The opposite is what's not okay. I'm holding it more now because I'm pushing down from the top a lot. All right, I believe I've given myself enough to work with, and I can be more intentional about the sculpting. I think this is pretty much where I want the hand to end. So I'll just create some sort of demarcation in the clay so that I can identify that for myself. And now it's time for me to start thinking about the shaping of this arm. I think this area is going to be very abstract. All right, I have reached the threshold for my attention span right now, and I'm low on charge, so this is going to be an extended break. Hopefully, when I come back to her, nothing has fallen off like it did on the last one. We shall see. But let's go ahead and do a quick spin. We are clocking this out at 1 hour. And I will catch you on the flip side. All right, peace.